Hello, and welcome to At Home with Lucas. So today we're going to be talking about the Amazon Fire Stick 2022. This is a 4K streaming behemoth with the Alexa button on the remote, people. Yes. The main thing I'm going to try to figure out in this video is this device for Prime customers or is it for everyone? Is it something that if you buy for someone without a Prime account, are they going to hate it indefinitely? Or is it something that everyone's going to be able to buy and jump into and absolutely love? So in this video, we're going to be doing a hands-on with the box, quick unboxing and first impressions on said streaming stick. After that, I'm going to be putting this bad boy to the At Home Lucas test to figure out is it something you should buy or maybe skip altogether. I'm here for you, so don't have to waste your time buying and returning. All right, let's go ahead and jump into it.
All right, let's take a closer look at this bad boy right quick. So up the top, you have Fire Stick 4K, watch in vibrant 4K Ultra HD. That's what's up. There's a little bit of what you're going to be able to get with this stick. All right, there's an image of what's to come in the box. This is, of course, an Amazon 4K HDR. That is awesome. Press and ask Alexa, 4K Ultra HD, Dolby Vision Atmos. This is a quad core. Hello, Fire TV Stick 4K. Okay, I really like that they provide this flex cable right here. This is really going to come into play if you have your TV mounted on the wall, because you're not going to be able to fit usually a Fire Stick that's that long. Looks like they're still using the old school micro USB right here to regular USB, so that's how you're going to power up your device. All right, they provide you with the AAA batteries like they said. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at this Fire Stick. It's very simple, very straightforward. You have your power port right there. You have your HDMI plug right there, which you're going to plug into this, and it's basically going to dangle down just like that. If you have this sticking out of the back of your TV and you bump it and that breaks, this whole thing is donezoed. Pull that off of there. All right, so there is your Alexa button right there. You press that for all of the awesome stuff that's going to happen, and then you have the Prime Video, the Netflix, the Disney Plus, and the Hulu, which is going to be funny because I know in a few years some of these will have different logos and will look a little bit different, so it is funny that they have that on there. It would be cool if that was like a digital readout where this was little tiny displays and it actually would change as you programmed it. That would be really cool. Definitely everything feels really clicky. It's a little bit longer than I would possibly like. I did like the fact that their old remote was way shorter. I think it was stopped about there. But nonetheless, this thing definitely does its job, and it looks like it's something that's going to keep on going. All you have to do is slide down from the bottom to expose the batteries. Looks like you just lock it in like that, slap it back together, and there you go. You can see there's a hidden indicator light. That is really cool. You see that? No light there. Press it, it exposes. Very cool. I like that. That's the microphone port right there. So when you press this, you hold it up to your mouth. But one thing you should note is this is a high powered microphone, so you don't need it an inch from your mouth. It'll sound like so you want to have it a few inches from your mouth, and you probably could have it even down by your side. Of course, I'll be testing all of that so we know what is going on. I like how this is piano black and the rest is just matte black plastic, very smooth. This is more of a soft touch, not as much textured, so it feels really smooth in the hand. I kind of like the side rails, and you got your little dimple right there for your finger to rest on to lock it into place. But yeah, okay, so this is really cool. First impressions, standard looking Fire Stick, new looking remote with the Echo button at the top, so it's going to be really fun to control things in my house with my TV now, so that's a huge plus. I already have so many Echoes around the house, and now I have one more. So let's get into this review, people. Woo! Okay, before we get to talking about the user interface or UI, let's go ahead and talk about the remote real quick. So this remote has a lot of features. It kind of is packed with more features than my last Fire TV remote, but it has some shortcomings, and just the layout of it to me is a little bit cluttered, and that's kind of how this whole review is going to read. It's kind of a cluttered operating system and a cluttered remote. And the remote does not flow as well as I would like. The way that your finger sits on the back here does not necessarily line up with everything down here. They're kind of down just a little bit too low, so your finger actually pops off of the resting spot there to activate stuff down here. And I think a volume control is used more than a play and pause. So I think this being down here is kind of in a little bit of no man's land. And then you have your preset buttons down here, which are not as needed with this UI. So the way that the user interface is set up, these buttons are not as needed because these apps are front and center immediately when you turn on the app. Other than that, very, very comfortable. It's not too big. It's a perfect size. It actually looks a lot bigger than it really is. So when you actually get it compared to other remotes out there, it's not very big at all. Another thing I don't really like is they have a dedicated button here which takes you to what they call live TV. So that's kind of funny that they're really pushing for that. And for me personally, that button is basically useless. I absolutely love having my assistant right here at the top. The microphone is phenomenal. I found it to be absolutely amazing. It really gets what you're saying very clearly. The button pressing sometimes is a little bit weird because you press it and say your command and sometimes it doesn't actually trigger, or you say it too soon. So it's a little bit slow, and I hope that they would make it a little bit faster. The power button, when I have this thing set up on my projector, will actually turn off my sound bar, which is kind of cool. So you can actually set this power button for certain things. So that's kind of cool. I'll talk about that later in the settings. The OK select button in the middle is great, and the arrows over here are phenomenal. They really do a perfect job, and I think that this is the best setup right here. Everything down below I think could be adjusted a little bit, but right here is really nice. So I'm going to give the remote 4.5 out of 5 stars. I'm going to say it's not my favorite remote out there. Okay, let's go ahead and walk through this user interface real quick. So you start off on the home screen right here, which you can then hit the down arrow. You could see your recently watched right here, which is really nice and really does a good job. You come down here, you have sponsored. I don't really care too much for this. It never really seems to be appealing to me, but here is all of the sponsored right here. And then you have recently used apps, which is kind of interesting. You can go through here and see all of your recently used apps. Next up for you is also something that's a little bit funny. I haven't really gotten into this very much, but this is going to give you a bunch of information on what's to come next right here. Okay, then you have Prime Amazon Originals and Exclusives. So we'll just go through this really quickly, and you can see it's got a bunch of stuff loaded up in here. And then you have Prime Movies We Think You'll Like. So this is actually identical to the Amazon Prime Video app. If you've ever used that, this is where it will recommend all of the stuff. And it's basically the exact same. And as you can see, it recommends a lot of horror movies because that's all I watch on Amazon Prime Video. I don't watch pretty much anything else. Now you have Showtime movies and TV shows over here. And then you have On Now. So some more content right here. And then you have popular TV. So you can go through and find some popular TV shows. But of course, this is all the same as on Amazon Prime Video. So you're kind of getting more than half of this is basically Amazon, and then the rest is a few things that they have lumped in. So you got the Apple TV Plus right here, and then you have popular TV shows right there. Sponsored apps and games. So this definitely has a good variety of games. If you dive into the Luna, it gets even better. I actually played a couple free games on there. It was really nice. Then you have Forever right here. New on Prime. Popular on Prime. So as you can see, this is basically the Prime Video app that you can get on most streaming services. but it's all lumped into this main homepage right here. I do like the fact that it's an endless scroll, so if you are trying to find something to watch, you could pretty much get on here and find something, which is really cool. So that's great. And then of course near the bottom you have the Netflix down here with all of Netflix's content in a nice scroll right there. You got your epic popular movies. And then you have kid favorites over here. So it's basically just Amazon Prime, and then you have whatever other apps are installed. Here's some more sponsored stuff right there. Prime horror movies. Prime recently added. So if you're not in the Prime ecosystem, this Fire Stick is not going to work for you. If you're buying this for someone else and they're not in the Prime ecosystem and they don't pay for Prime yearly, then this one is just not going to make much sense for them. So okay, now we have some apps right here, which look like mostly games. And some of these games you can get on regular smart TVs. So this is just very much like casual, super casual gaming. Then you got TikTok, which you can get on here. All right, continue on down. And of course they have football now. That's a big thing that Prime has acquired, the ability to play football. And now we got action movies. Oh, device deals. Whoa, I have not been down this far. I did not know this was here. Wow. So it looks like you can actually do some shopping for more Amazon stuff right here. You can get the Luna controller. Let's see what happens when I click on that. Oh, wow. You can buy it right from here. Oh, that is really interesting. Whoa. I honestly did not know this was a thing. Wow. All right. So you got the sports news and highlights right here. So this thing is just packed full of so much content, which I would easily say is mostly Prime content. So once again, if you're not in the Prime ecosystem, then this one is going to be pretty much not for you. Okay, then you have free movies, and then you have watch with your cable subscription. Okay, I did not know this was here either. I've never been down I've never been down this far. This is so interesting. Wow. Okay. We just got to the bottom. That took so much time. That is absolutely amazing. Let's see how fast we can get back to the top. I'm gonna hold down the up button. Here we go. That's pretty quick. Look at that. That is processing everything really, really quickly. Wow. Okay, that is cool. All right, so now we're at the home, or at the top once again. So you can go up once more and you can jump into here. So if you were just trying to find something different or something that they're advertising, you can just kind of click through what they're suggesting. I think there's like 5 or 6 of these. So you can go through here. So this is kind of unique to Prime Video. Yeah, so there's a decent amount of giant content that you can just see. There we go, we're back to the start. All right, if you hit your left button, you'll go from the home to the search. So now you can go down, you have a search bar, you can click on the App Store, free movies, TV shows, games, or go down here for more recommended categories. And then you go back up, and if you hit the left button again, you're going to be able to go and switch to a different profile. The ability to switch to different profiles on this is really nice. They do a really good job of that. And then here's the live TV section that I was talking about. There's actually a button that'll take you straight here. And I have not gotten into the live section. You got breaking news. So this is very similar to other streaming services out there that have live content. And it's basically just a bunch of different ways to get current live TV, but it's not usually by the actual broadcasting. So it's not by CBS News. It's going to be by some third party, which is okay, but just know that that's what you're going to get. Okay, then you have your Peacock Live TV, which I believe you have to pay for. Amazon Live Shopping, which is free. You can go through here and find new stuff to buy, which is really cool. And then you have your live sporting events. Okay, so that is all for the live section. Then you go over to My Stuff. This is all the stuff that you've added to what you want to watch. So this is kind of cool. And then you come to what I'm calling a little bit of redundancy. So from the home section, you can then scroll over, and then you can go to their little app section. So this is where you can pick and choose the apps you want to be here. So I've actually put all of these apps here, and each time you go to the app, it gives you a drop down of more information from that app. So you don't even have to click on the app to then get more information. But then of course, if you click on it, it launches the app and it gives you the full app experience here. And this app experience is very similar to the main homepage. So it has a lot of the exact same content as the homepage inside of the Prime app. So this is what I was talking about. Their homepage is basically just mostly this app and a little bit of other streaming services, but not all of it. So now when I go to Peacock, you're going to get the same thing, a couple rows, and then you can go over here. And this is kind of funny. For Beachbody on demand, it doesn't give you anything but other streaming or other services. So it's really weird. It won't even integrate with the app to give you information. So that's really funny. And then you go over to Spotify, same thing. It's not integrated, so it's not going to give you any information of the app itself. You go to HBO and you're going to get one row, not two, not three, just one. And then you go to YouTube and same thing, not integrated at all, no integration. Then you come over here, your apps and channels, and you have to go all the way down here to click on My Apps. So if you wanted to change the main homepage app bar, you go into here, you hit the menu button, and then you go over to Move, and you can actually move it around or put it as your homepage app. So you can switch it for, say, YouTube or something, which is, I don't know, there's just something about it that's really silly to me, and it's odd. You have to go all the way down into My Apps, you have to find it. So it's definitely a little bit odd. Okay, now let's jump into settings. So if you click on notifications, you can check out your notifications right here. Really simple, really straightforward. You have your account profile and settings right there. So you can go through some stuff on here and adjust things as you want, which is really cool. Of course, you have your network, so you're able to change your Wi-Fi as you need to. You have your display and sound. This is actually a really important section right here. So if you're trying to set up, say, a sound bar, or you're trying to set up some Bluetooth speakers, this is where you're going to jump into. And it was really, really easy for me to make my sound bar my dominant go-to sound for this Amazon Fire Stick. So this is definitely a great spot. You can adjust your screensaver, your display, your audio. And then you have your applications over here. And this is where you can adjust some things on the App Store, which is really nice. So they definitely give you a lot of different options to adjust things as you would want. You have preferences over here. So it's really giving you a lot of different options, which I definitely like. The only thing I didn't like is there's nothing for this right here. So there's nothing for the Alexa to give you any options at all on how to adjust things. The Bluetooth controller, this is where you can add a game controller, which is really nice. Then you have your ability to adjust live TV. You got your equipment controls, which is kind of straightforward. Then you have My Fire TV, which is really important. You need to go into here because sometimes you'll have an update and it won't tell you. And this is where you can install your update. There we go. It's actually finishing installing an update. And there you go. Update is finished. You can also go and check out your storage to see how much storage you have on your device. This thing has a decent amount, 5.28 gigs. It's not the worst, but it's not the best. And then of course you can do your factory data reset if you have a problem. Then you have accessibility. Okay, so that is all of the settings right there. Okay, I just want to take a minute to talk about the Alexa feature that's built into this device. So it's actually really cool. If you just press the button, you get this pop-up at the bottom. So if you don't really know what you're looking for or what you should do with it, you can just go ahead and press the button and it'll pull this up. And the cool thing is it'll keep everything running in the background. So if you're watching a TV show or a movie or whatever you're doing, the background will still run, as you can see here, but you can go into your smart home. And that's something that for me personally is really cool. I have a lot of cameras all over the place and I have a lot of smart devices all over the place. So I can actually just jump right into here and I can go and check out things that I need to see, or I can just say a command and get that as well. So that's really cool for me personally. We'll go ahead and jump right into the driveway cam. Okay, so there you go. Now you can actually see the driveway right there. And the cool thing is you can hit the OK button and it'll minimize it and it'll pop it up into the right corner. So it basically becomes PIP, picture in picture. So that is really cool. So if you have your house camera set up as a baby cam, you'll actually be able to hear if your baby wakes up while you're watching your shows or whatever. So it really does give you a really cool feature. Of course, you can say things like, what's the weather? And there you go. It'll pop up at the bottom. I have everything muted right now, so it's not going to talk to us, but it will talk and tell you information. How far is it to downtown Indianapolis? And there you go. You can get full screen stuff. And then you can, of course, jump into stuff like news. So this thing can really become like a whole nother way to get content out of your Fire Stick. So it's actually really interesting. And this kind of paints a picture for me of where this device could go in the future. I think that this simple addition to making this thing a little bit like an Echo is really going to change the way that we interact with this device. So I am definitely impressed. I'm going to give it a solid 5 out of 5 stars for this feature because it kind of stands alone and it really spoils you, because if you get your hands on another remote like a Samsung Smart TV remote or a Xfinity Flex remote from Comcast and you press that microphone button, it doesn't give you anything like this gives you. It really blows you away because you can say things like, you know, a unknown TV show, an unknown movie, and she'll actually find it for you, which is really amazing. And if there's no way to play it, she'll tell you where to download it from. So it's really intuitive, and it really does a phenomenal job and changes the landscape of this whole thing. And it really is almost like you have two different user interfaces. You have this standard one here, and then you have your Echo right here. So I am super impressed, and I cannot wait to see where this goes in the future. And I hope they really kill it with the future updates for this device. But yeah, I'm going to definitely give the ability to use your Echo-like features with your TV 5 out of 5 stars. Okay, now I'm going to give this thing a full star rating. So I think this thing it's good, but it's not something that I'm absolutely in love with. I'm not going to give this thing a 5-star rating. I think the user interface is a little bit clunky, the way that you have to click over to get to your apps, and then you have to see all the stuff that appears below when you really just want to click on the app, go inside of it, do what it has to offer, and move on. But this wants to give you some weird drop-down menus below with information, and it just, I don't know, it just seems a little bit half-baked to me, and it just is not an enjoyable user interface. It's not something that I'm like, yes, I get to jump in here and you know, find something to watch. This main home page is definitely full of a lot of different content, but it's also a little bit clunky and it's a little bit cluttered. I think it needs to be updated a little bit. It needs to have maybe larger thumbnails or something like that to make it not look like it's just all the same. There's too much redundancy. It's all just like the same blur as you go down. As you could see, nothing is changing. It's all the same size. So I think they could definitely give this user interface a little bit of a tweak, update it, and it would be just so much better. Also, I think they could, give other apps their day and let them have a little bit more space on this main homepage and not make it as much for Amazon Prime. I think that's going to make people shy away from it, because if you don't have Amazon Prime, you're not going to like this at all. So hopefully in the intro, I do a disclaimer where I say if you're not an Amazon Prime customer and you're not paying your yearly dues, you should probably skip this entirely. I do like the fact that they offer the ability for you to do some shopping and to buy stuff on here. That's really cool. But overall, I'm going to say that this user interface is not my favorite. I'm not going to give it that big 5-star stamp of approval. I'm going to say that I'm going to give it a 4.4 star rating. I'm going to say that it has a lot to offer. It really does. And if you really dial it in, you may find it to be 5 stars. You may fall in love with it. But for me personally, it just doesn't have that wow factor. It doesn't have that like cutting edge user interface feel. And I feel like they need to adjust a few things here or there and do some tweaks. And then, maybe in a month's time, a year's time, 2 years' time, I may come back and have a 5-star review.
All right, there you go. That's the Amazon 4K streaming stick. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, definitely clearly click that like button. And if you want to join the Adam Lucas family and you want to be a part of this crew, hit that subscribe button. Every time I get a subscriber, I get a boost to make more and more videos, and it's because of you guys I surpassed 5K. Yes, people, on my way to 6K, but I need your help. Yes, you right there. Tell your friends, tell your family, this guy's on YouTube. They should go subscribe and watch my channel. But as always, I thank you for watching each and every one of my videos, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.